Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about balanced diet. Okay. Then what are the damages to take the junk foods and nutrition. Okay. First of all, balanced diet. Do you know what is the balanced diet, students? Balanced diet is nothing but the food having required amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals in required amount. If the body needs how much amount of carbohydrate that is present in the food, how much amount of protein that is also present in the food. Okay, the need for the body is called as requirement. So, the requirements of food components present in balanced state, the type of food is called as balanced diet. So, the food having required amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, roughages. These all food components are present in the food in required amount. It is called as balanced diet. Okay, all the food components present in the food as the body requires. For example, our body requires 10 grams of carbohydrate for this day and 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of fats and 0.4 grams of vitamins and 0.1 gram of minerals and 0.5 grams of roughages for the today's session. So, if you eat the food along with these requirements of our body, this food, if the food having all these requirements in correct quantity, the type of food is called as balanced food. Is it clear, students? So, balanced diet is compulsory for each and every human being. So, due to not taking of balanced diet, we are getting so many diseases. So many nutritious diseases are present for the lack of balanced diet. Those are, among those I want to discuss here, some nutritious diseases are kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor. Okay, what is meant by kwashiorkor, students? This is a disease resulted due to the lack means absence or poor intake. Okay, lack of proteins in your food, it is called as kwashiorkor. Then another disease called as marasmus. Marasmus is due to lack of both protein and calorie deficiency If you mention deficiency, no need to mention the lack of. Lack of is equal to the deficiency. Okay, poor intake or absence of both proteins and the calorie, it is called as marasmus. These are the both are the protein nutritious deficiency diseases. Okay, then problems of junk foods. Okay, what are the problems when you take the junk foods? Because main problem is indigestion. That means there is not the food taken as a junk food. Okay, it is not completely digested. Because this junk food having so many toxic materials. So those toxic materials will damage our digestive system. So our digestive system is somewhat damaged, so they can't involve completely in the digestion process. That's why digestion does not takes completely. This is called as indigestion. Okay, then after due to taking of junk foods, acidity will develop. What is meant by acidity? Nothing but gastric pain and ulcers in the digestive tract. Ulcers mean injuries and small injuries can form in your intestine, in your stomach. Those are called as ulcers. Okay, and the gastric pain will develop due to formation of the gas. Okay, this is called as acidity. Okay, due to presence of toxics in your junk food, they can cause cancer also in some cases. Why? Because in the junk foods, oils are utilized so many times. For example, take small bhajis appeared in streets. The oil used to make the small bhajis is day by day utilized so many times. So due to repeated utilization of this oil can cause the toxic factors. Toxic means poisonous factors. So these factors can enter our body and can cause the cancer. So students, please avoid the junk foods. Like fried rice, street side fried rice, street side noodles and street side bhajis or anything else, and pizzas, burgers, these are all included under junk foods. So please avoid those junk foods, and you should prefer the homemade foods only. Okay, in our home we can prepare all the food items freshly. And the oil content utilization is only for one time. That's why that type of food is very healthy to our body. It can maintain the good healthiness in our body. So you just avoid the food items, junk food items, students. Please, this is my suggestion. Then after nutrition. Nutrition and types of nutrition. Okay, the term nutrition was coined by Lavoisier. The term nutrition was coined by Lavoisier. So, he gave the nutrition means taking of food into body and assimilation or digestion or digestion of that consumed food item can release an energy. This overall process is called as nutrition. The taking up of food and consumption and then utilization of digested food to release the energy in our body. This is simply called as nutrition. Okay, nutrition is categorized into especially two types, students. Two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, what is meant by autotrophic nutrition here, students? Autotrophic nutrition means the nutrition in which the food items can synthesize by their own. It is called as autotrophic nutrition. And that type of organisms are called as autotrophs. Autotrophs. These are the living organisms. Examples for autotrophs are plants. Okay, plants can synthesize their food by its own through a process called as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process through which the autotrophic nutrition food can be synthesized by their own. Then heterotrophic nutrition involves into saprophytic, phagocytic and parasitic. Okay, for example, heterotrophic means they cannot synthesize own food material. They cannot synthesize food in their body. That means they can depends on plants or animals or others. This type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So, in case of heterotrophic nutrition, three types are there: saprophytic nutrition, phagocytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition. Okay, saprophytic nutrition in which the nutrition nothing but taking a food from dead and decaying matter. The plants and animals will get death. After their death, some organisms can fly and can stand on the dead bodies of the plant and animals. They can consume the dead bodies as the food material. So, that type of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. Examples for this saprophytic nutrition is bacteria and fungi. They can land on the dead bodies of the plant or animal bodies, and they can suck the juices of the dead bodies, so they can get the food from the dead bodies, so they are called as saprophytes. Then after phagocytic nutrition, best example for phagocytic nutrition are humans. Okay. That means humans can take the food from the mouth and they can consume the food, and consumed food is digested in our digestive system, and digested food is absorbed throughout the body. This type of nutrition is called as phagocytic. Next, parasitic means some animals or some organisms or some plants can live on the other organism, to get the food. Okay, for example, take an example of plant Cuscuta. It is also called as dodder plant. Okay, it can get the food on the larger trees. It belongs to creeper family. It can creep easily on the large trees. Okay, from these large trees, this Cuscuta plant can form a strong pointed root-like structure into the body of the large tree, and through these roots, the Cuscuta plant can absorb the food and water from the large tree. So this type of nutrition is called as parasitic nutrition. That means parasitic means they depends upon other organisms for food. Okay, then another example is parasitic nutrition is malarial parasite, that is Plasmodium vivax is the malaria causing parasite. This parasite present in our body, and they can cause the malaria disease. So they can eat our blood cells. And they can consume our blood, and it can populate, it can replicate their number, it can increase their number by taking food as our blood cells. So this is also a parasitic type of nutrition. Next thing, another type of nutrition is okay, in case of heterotrophs, some plants like Utricularia, Drosera, Nepenthes, or these are insectivorous plants. Insectivores. These are called as insectivorous plants. Why? Because it got the name insectivorous, because it can take food item as the insects. It can eat insects. Why these plants only eats insects? Because insects body mainly consists of nitrogen. So these plants are having lack of nitrogen due to presence of poor nutrition. these plants can trap the insects and it can digest the insect and absorb the insects juices to get the nitrogen. So these plants are named as insectivorous plants. These plants are named as insectivorous plants. Okay, these plants are present as very beautiful structures, very beautiful structures. Okay, it is a flap-like, it is a flap-like structure. Okay, it is a flower vase-like structure, flower vase-like structure. Okay, in this plant, this is a plant. Okay, this actually this is a leaf. This is a leaf can convert into flower vase shape to trap the insect, to trap the insect. So if the insect attracted towards the this flower like leaf and enters into inside of the leaf to suck the honey, then after what will happen, this flap like structure is closed. This flap like structure is closed and it not open, it can't open. Even the insect tried to move outside, the flap is closed and can't open. So in that time, inside this so many glands are present, so many digestive glands are present inside the flower vase shaped leaf. Digestive glands are present. So these digestive glands can release some enzymes. These digestive glands can release some enzymes. So these enzymes acts on this insect. These enzymes can act on insect and kill the insect as small bits These bits are again digested and make it juice. Now this juice is absorbed through leaf and into the plant body. So from this digested body part, plant will get nitrogen. Okay, this is about insectivorous plants. Then symbiosis. Then another type of association is called as symbiosis. Symbiosis is association of two organisms or individuals, okay, for mutual benefits, okay, for mutual benefits. So if you observe leguminaceae plants, okay, Dolichos lab, Dolichos chikudu, okay, Dolichos chikudu. Okay, in the type of plants, nitrogen is not present, but these plants wants the nitrogen, So how can they get the nitrogen? Because due to the presence of some rod shaped bacteria present at the roots of the Dolichos or leguminaceae plants. This is called as rhizobium bacteria. So this rhizobium bacteria fixes the nitrogen present in the air into the soil. From the soil it can absorb the nitrogen. Okay, then this rhizobium bacteria can transfer the nitrogen into plant body. As like that. So due to presence of nitrogen, plant will grow and develop. Okay. So here we observe that mutual benefits. What are the mutual? Mutual are both plant and the bacteria will get the benefits effects. How it is takes place? Plant will get the nitrogen from this rhizobium bacteria, and this rhizobium bacteria can take food and shelter from this plant. So rhizobium bacteria got the benefit and the plant also got the benefit. So this is called as mutual benefit. Rhizobium collecting food and shelter from the plant, and plant getting nitrogen from the rhizobium bacteria. So this type of mutual beneficiary relationship between two organisms is called as symbiosis. Okay. Then another example for symbiosis. Is lichens. Okay, lichens means the symbiotic association between algae and fungi. Okay, algae belongs to one family and fungi belongs to another family. In algae, it is called as producer, and fungi is a consumer. Okay, producer means it can synthesize food, it can prepare food. Okay, producer means it can prepare food by a process called as photosynthesis. Okay, now after completion of photosynthesis, the food is synthesized inside the body of the algae. So this food is transferred to the fungi for the survival of the fungi. So what will get from the fungi to the algae is fungi providing shelter and water. Okay, for the doing of photosynthesis, water is necessary, and for the existence of algae, shelter is necessary. So fungi can provide shelter, it can provide the place to live the algae, and it can also provide the water. So by using these, it can synthesize the food, that is called as photosynthesis. After synthesis of food, the food is again transferred to the fungi. This overall mutual beneficial relation between two organisms like algae and fungi, it is called as symbiosis. Okay, in your future studies, if anyone asks what are the examples for the symbiosis, means one is lichens. Lichens are the symbiotic relationship between algae and fungi. Another example is the symbiotic association between Leguminosae plant and the Rhizobium bacteria. Leguminosae plants and the Rhizobium bacteria. These are the two examples of symbiosis. Okay. In this lesson, we learned about what are the main food components and types of food components, and then tests for identification of carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and then types of nutrition, okay, taking of balanced diet and avoiding of junk foods. These are all included under this chapter. So up to here our chapter is completed, students. Thank you. Keep watching.